Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Farhan, also known as Gunner since 96, and you're joining me here today as we discuss Mikel Arteta's press conference, his post-match press conference, where he talks about the dominant performance against Tottenham. A 2-1 result, of course. Woke up this morning with a massive smile on my face. That's not going to be wiped off until the next time we slip up. Look, really happy with the display. I gave my post-match reaction last night. You can check that out on the channel. I also hit 500 subscribers, but when I woke up, it then went back down to 497. So look, regardless, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel, for all the kind words that I've been getting, for all of the other Arsenal content creators out there. I honestly don't think I'd still be doing what I'm doing without the community. I think more than anything, what making videos about Arsenal has done, it has enabled us to come together to talk about the club that we love and to ultimately be a stronger base than we would be by ourselves. So thank you. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for everyone that takes the time out to watch the videos, to give me all the feedback and to interact as well. Let's get into the press conference itself. A lot of interesting things said. I've pulled out all the relevant or the most interesting things for me that I want to comment on and that I want to talk about. The first thing was about the game itself and the last 10-15 minutes, because other than the last 10-15 minutes, we absolutely dominated them. I think Arsenal are learning and are improving as they play every game, as they make every mistake, as they go through every different type of experience. They learn and they adapt. And so the question was asked, what did you make of those last 10-15 minutes after the red card, as it seemed as though you didn't manage the lead as effectively as you could have? Arteta says, for sure we didn't. We managed those 10 minutes really badly. We put ourselves in trouble and we gave them hope, when after we should have just give passes in the opponent's half and attack in the right moment. It's a big lesson. It's great to get those lessons when you are winning. And that's it. That last sentence there is the most important of them all. And it says a lot about where Arsenal are and what they need to do to improve. It's great to get those lessons when you are winning. Now, if they had equalised in the last second, if Harry Kane's header had counted the offside one, if the rebound, I think it was Sissoko, if he had hit it well enough and that had gone into the back of the net, we'd be having a completely different conversation. But, you know, this lapse in concentration, this inability to see games through right to the end, it's not something which I can blame Arteta or individual players for. I think it is a mentality thing. I think at Arsenal, we are developing and we are regrouping. We're moving forward. There's no doubt about that. The performances have been getting better. And I know it's easy to start comparing us to other clubs, our situation to other clubs' situation, how other clubs have been so good and how poor that we've been. But it's not as easy as to just put two clubs together and start comparing stats, numbers, abilities, etc. Every club has its own unique situations, has its own unique story. Arsenal has its own unique story in the sense that we have a manager who's never managed a club before. He's learning on the job. The players are learning off him and they're morphing. It's like a chameleon changing its colours. You know, if there's one positive that I take from that last 10-15 minutes is that we didn't concede. We got the 3 points and the boys will have learned a lot about game management. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of criticism on Arteta's man management, on his game management as well. That's something which I genuinely believe has improved throughout the last 3 or 4 games. The substitutions he made were bright. They were the right ones. He made it at the right time. And all in all, you know, despite managing those last 10, 15 minutes really badly, I think that it was out of Arteta's hands. The boys on the pitch need to know what to do at what time. Rather than sitting back, they should have attacked and they should have exploited Spurs. They didn't. And I understand that it's difficult to do that when you've got a team who's throwing everything at you and when you know what's at stake, you know, 3 points at stake, etc. But look, you know, these are things that they're going to learn in good time. And I hope that they do learn. One thing that I can be happy about is they didn't make a mistake at the back yesterday. And I'm really, really happy about that. And I'm hoping that, you know, we've crossed that bridge and we don't ever need to go back to it again. But who knows? There's still a large chunk of the season to go. Another question, an important one, asks, can you confirm whether BUKAYO Saka came off due to injury? Arteta said, no, it was injury. We don't know. We don't know yet. He was feeling his hamstring. That's really worrying. Son came off with a hamstring injury. Chuffed about that. Really, really happy about that. I was surprised that he made the substitution at halftime. Actually, no, I wasn't surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, I think is the right word, because it's not like Arteta to be making changes at halftime. And I thought when he did that, it was a tactical decision that he wanted to bring on Pepe a little. He wanted to change the dynamics a little bit on that right hand side. But Saka did excellent. He did really, really well in that first half. And I wouldn't have been able to tell that, you know, he was feeling some discomfort on his hamstring. I hope it's nothing serious because we're gonna need him. But if we do miss out on Saka, then at least, you know, we have the right replacements. At least we have Willian and Pepe. Willian, who's been doing well of late, came on, did a decent job. Pepe as well, he'll be chomping at the bits to try and get himself back in the starting 11. So it's not the end of the world if Saka is missing for a few weeks. Look, the Olympiacos game, I expect Arteta to make lots of changes because we are 3-1 up. I expect him to put a competent side who are able to see the game through. But ultimately, if he is out for a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping it is only for a couple of weeks, it will do him the world of good and it will allow others to have the game time that they so desperately want. Another question. Did you feel you needed to make that decision with AUBA to set the standards of what you want in the dressing room? This is a very interesting question and one that needs to be talked about because we know that Aubameyang, the decision to not play Aubameyang was due to disciplinary issues, and Arteta made that very, very clear with the press, with Sky Sports before the game, and I was very surprised that he made that knowledge public. But to that question, he says, I made what I thought was the right decision. We draw the line there. We know how important AUBA is for us, for the club, and that's it. That's been dealt with and we move on. One of the things I respect about Mikel Arteta more than anything is his discipline, is his principles, and how well he sticks to it. This is a club for many years that has been run like an amateur sports club. We haven't had the right structure in place and we haven't had the right principles in place. And ever since this man has come in the club in charge, ever since he's sat in the hot seat, the attitudes have changed in and around the club. I think he made the right decision to make it public. I think he wanted to make Aubameyang an example of, and he did the right thing, because now not only will Aubameyang think twice about, you know, turning up late or for whatever reason it was, but also it's a clear message to all the other players in the dressing room, and it's a real message to everyone in the Premier League that, look, we're not messing around here. Arsenal Football Club are here to compete, and Arsenal Football Club are here to, you know, to transform into a serious club. So good on him for doing that. And finally, final question that I want to talk about is this one that says, there are 10 points between you and the top 4. Is there a belief you can still qualify for the Champions League this season? Very, very interesting question. I did a bit of maths and it's possible. It's very, very possible that we can potentially finish in the top 4. We've got 10 games. That's 30 possible points. I think 65 points ultimately will give the final fourth spot to whoever wants it. Arteta says that up until mathematically it's impossible, we're going to believe and we're going to give it a real go. That is for sure. We know that we're going to have to be extremely consistent to have any chance in the last 2 or 3 matches to be close to that. But we're going to give it a go and we're going to keep trying. And we're going to keep trying, going game by game. The last 10 games, we play 5 teams in the bottom half and 5 teams who are above us. The boys are going to have to show extreme character and a lot of consistency in order to get maximum points. I think if we lose 2 games out of 8, we could still nick top 4. And it's really, I feel really silly and pathetic talking about top 4, knowing full well how incompetent these boys are at times. And, you know, like I said, this is a group of players who are still developing, who are still trying to grasp different concepts that Arteta is trying to teach. It's going to be a real interesting end to the season. I'm going to be releasing a live stream video tonight with my boy Ryan, who's another Arsenal fan, and we're going to be talking all about that. But look, Champions League is still open for everyone and anyone who wants it from 10th place upwards. It's whether teams are consistent enough to finish off what they started. And with the current results that this weekend and last weekend we've seen, what the impression that I get is that it's up for grabs. Nobody really wants it. Chelsea are dropping points, Everton are dropping points, West Ham are dropping points, even Leicester are dropping points. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. And I think Arsenal have, you know, all the chances in the world to make a last minute attempt to try and get top 4. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't and hit that bell notification to be notified every time I release a video. I'll be back again tomorrow to discuss something else, something to do with Olympiacos. I think it's Tuesday tomorrow. We've got a few more days. So yeah, a lot of tough games coming up for us, but we need to, you know, stay focused and get through it. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.